Hey guys, DJ, Guildmaster with Women Gamers Guild here today with Scott. We still don't have a handle for you yet, do we?
Not yet.
We'll come up with one eventually. It's kind of an impromptu video. A lot of stuff's just happened over the weekend. I felt I needed to make a response, kind of have a discussion video. If and deals with 40K. If you guys haven't been following, a top competitor in 40K has just got a year-long ban from the hobby. Uh, TJ Lionel. Uh, the only reason I'm even putting this video out is I'm actually friends with TJ. I've known him a very long time. I've actually played a lot of games with him. So I feel like give him at least a fair shake and actually talk about cheating in the community. But what happened was that a GT over the weekend, he was on a live stream, and apparently some Reddit posters had caught him cheating several times
Yeah.
in the video. I've actually watched the videos. It looks like three of them are definitely, unfortunately, they were. Um, it's pretty crazy, and it kind of leaves a bad mark, unfortunately, on the community. Uh, Competitive 40K, a lot of people don't like it to begin with, and this just adds to the stigma of that hobby. Uh, Years ago, I used to play competitive 40K. I got out of it only because it was a toxic environment. But I don't know. Have you seen the video, Squad? Or like,
Yeah, I've
what's
seen the
your?
videos, and it's very interesting. That's one thing. Like also the terrain situation.
Mhm.
It's like everything being so tall, hiding things. I feel like now the new ruling with like dice boxes, like even here on our store, we've implemented dice boxes and
Yeah,
rules for like no dice on the floor.
yeah. And a lot of the dice boxes, honestly, for us, wasn't for cheating, but it was so people weren't knocking models over a lot of
Oh yeah,
times. It was like a dice, a D6 will chip a model. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Cause we play fairly loose at the shop, but at that high end, it really feels badsies. Like seeing that actually happen. I feel bad for the player that happened to, but I mean, have you come across any cheating in your when you
The
playing?
closest thing I've got to cheating was actually accidentally getting some rules mixed up myself. Like even in one of our videos, I was saying Braethar was toughness 9 and he's toughness 7.
Oh, but
And it's like that I did feel bad. And it's like I looked at it and rechecked it. I made a
mhm,
mistake. I've made a few rules errors. Sometimes in the benefit of the other player,
mhm.
but sometimes like it definitely gave me a higher advantage, which I do feel bad about. But I do change it.
I guess there's a difference between like misinterpreting a rule on your part or your opponent's part, and unfortunately blatantly cheating. And a lot of times that comes down to telling a rule purposely wrong, or a lot of cases dice. We've seen that a lot. There was a few years ago a player got banned for playing with loaded dice in Florida.
Ooh.
There was another player I think a year ago got banned in Texas for something similar. Uh, it just feels real bad in the community, and I'm not making excuses for it, but it seems like whenever you play that high level 40K, the win at all cost mentality kind of sets in. You know what I mean? Because you're playing for prestige, some cases several $1,000s in prize support. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, excuse me, the day of the event, he was ranked number one in the ITC standings, which really I think's what shocks a lot of people. Because I've played TJ before. He's a power gamer, but when you play high end 40K, you have to be a power
Oh
gamer.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm not sure what he was thinking, what happened.
It's like one of the things too. 40K is very dice heavy. And you look at any other competitive game, like video games mostly, it's all skill and hand based.
Mhm.
But like when it gets to 40K, randomness is the bane of everyone's existence.
Yeah.
It's like even though the whole Minecraft situation, the whole dream speedrun manipulation,
Uh huh.
that's randomness in play. Randomness, I think like a lot of the random elements make us want to like make it more consistent.
Okay. That makes sense. I guess that comes down to that's why the power game and dice mitigation. Like, okay, if I know having this guy here gives me a reroll, the strategic gives me a reroll, or I'm going to take the best unit for shooting, and that's when high end 40K becomes more of a math hammer
Yeah.
because you're doing statistics. I statistically should roll this high. I statistically should kill this guy.
Yeah.
Because because whenever I played 4th edition. I had gone to Adepticon, and the years I couldn't go to Adepticon.
I knew it. I saw text and knew it.
Oh,
Sorry.
Oh, hey,
Sorry.
Chandler, you want to jump in on this video?
I'll pop in a little bit. I didn't realize you were recording.
Yeah, we're talking about the whole TJ Lanigan scandal and 40K cheating and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Oh, well, there's that new army coming to play. But anyway, whenever I didn't actually go to Adepticon, I would pseudo coach before coaching was a thing, and we would sit and we would play and play and play, and I stopped doing that because it stopped being fun. At one point, it was like 2 in the morning. This is our 3rd game. I was playing Imperial Guard at the time, before Leaf Blower List, or right at the actually part of the Leaf Blower List when it first became a thing. And we'd play one turn. We could see how the whole game was going to go. And we would stop. We would reset the game and start over again for new strategies. I did that 3 times that day, and I was like, I'm done. Like, this is not fun. This is more like a job.
Yeah.
And then after that, I actually got a competitive 40K, because it became a very toxic community.
Yeah.
So it's very unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like right now the meta is definitely building, and we're definitely seeing a lot of Space Marine hate.
Yeah.
Especially with the Dark Angels becoming very popular. Auspex Tactics did a video about the statistics, and it's just the top tier is just Space Marines and Dark Angels.
Yeah.
And I feel like everyone does not like that. It's like any new codex that comes out, we're gonna see hate on that.
Yeah. And that comes down to the whole power creep issue that we have.
Yeah.
But as far as cheating goes, we've never really had an issue here at the shop with folks cheating or really anything. I'm sure if it's happened, but we've never caught it here. But
Like maybe an occasional accidental dice pickup or dice reroll.
well, that's a little bit different than actually like
like changing what you've done.
Right. But apparently, what the ITC has done, they have banned him for a year. They've taken all his points to 0. He can still participate in events as of right now, but cannot gain any points. I've also heard that Team America has, I guess, booted him off the team, which I wasn't aware that he was. I know he was in previous years, because he's always consistently put up in the top at least 5 across the United States, that's the part that just kind of puts a lot of us, well, myself mostly, in shock, because I've never known the guy. I've never known him to do anything like that. I remember when he used to play Tyranids, when we played at Ligonier Library, you know what I mean? Because he's actually a local guy to us. I feel that's why I need to, like, kind of put this video out, talking about it.
I feel like we should give him a small chance. Like, yeah, we're gonna have to watch him and make sure he doesn't do it again. But like, don't. Yeah, there's gonna be the stigma of like, oh great, is he gonna cheat against me or not? But I feel like we're all gonna learn from it, and that like if we give him a chance and get him to slowly come back in, and hopefully see something improvement, who knows?
I think, I'm not sure. I haven't talked to TJ. I don't know what he's put a statement out through, I think, Battle Lost Souls or the Long War. He's put a statement out apologizing and stuff like that. So I'm not sure exactly what he's probably going through and what he's even thinking, but he's talked about stepping away from the hobby for several months on top of this ban. I don't know if he's going to come back to the hobby. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, falling from the top of the tower to the bottom, besides humbling, it's pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Should he have been banned? I hate to say this, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, even though he is a friend. I think if he does come back, and if you see this video, TJ, like I don't want to like throw it out there, but if he would come back to the hobby, I feel for him to revalidate himself, he would have to take the lowest tier army and play super tight 40K. Just go from the very bottom again with a low tier army and just play.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like reassert himself as that top end player. You know what I mean? Tim, if you're going to say something, jump in the video.
I've got Grey Knights whenever you're ready.
I don't have my stuff.
I meant.
Oh boy.
Oh, you
You're
meant
talking low
Scots.
tier army. I meant. Grey
Oh,
Knights.
you jump into pro circuit.
Yeah.
We haven't seen the codex yet.
Huh?
We haven't seen the codex yet.
No, not yet.
But anyway,
That's all.
like that's probably one of the only ways that I can see him reinventing, like revalidating himself. Because unfortunately, he's a super awesome guy, good guy to have a drink or two with, like talk to. He's going to have the stigma. He's going to have a giant yellow C on his chest from here on out. You know what I mean? Some folks have talked about him maybe going to different games. I don't even think that's really an option for him because he's always played 40K.
Yeah, to hop into a whole new game.
And let's be honest, like, he's known in the community, and I feel as soon as someone sees his name in another event coming up or another game even, it's going to draw that negative connotation.
Yeah, even if those games get live streamed.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that's another reason why the community had to bring the hammer down, so to speak, because in the past there's been cheaters. They've been caught on events and stuff like that, and nothing was really done. Like, hey, don't do that, they'll slap your hand, and that was about it. I think now, with the community becoming more heavily live streamed, and I want to say competitive 40K is trying to break in the thing that you have for video games, to where, hey, it's live streamed, it's big business, there's advertisements, etc. No one's going to watch a live stream if they think, well, these guys are all cheating, or their guys get caught cheating and nothing gets done about it. I think something had to be done, and I think they're going to make an example out of him.
Yeah.
Really.
I feel like hopefully the community doesn't take it too far, because what we're gonna do, like, if you are losing, and it's like, hey To, I see him doing this, like, how are we gonna do this? Proving all that. There's definitely gonna be some ironing out of all these new rules,
Yeah.
and, like having people focus, because we can't have a To at every single table.
No, but this just plus two. I know for me, who I wouldn't want a TO standing by my table watching everything I did. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, he brought it upon himself that way. So I'm not sure what's exactly what he's going to do this point forward in the hobby. He's talking about taking a break for a while, so we'll see how that goes. I don't know. It's pretty big news, like that something like this has actually happened. They're doing something about it. I mean, it's good for the community as a whole. It really is. It's just it just hits really really close to home. That's the part that kind of gets me because I'm not. He's still my friend. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. I guess a lot of us are more disappointed than like, hey, screw that guy, ban him for life. Like, we're like, come on, like, it shouldn't happen that way. No. Like, what are your thoughts? Like, other thoughts on the squat?
I don't really know. It's just like, I feel like definitely we needed this.
Uh-huh.
It's something that had to have happened. And it's just very interesting because, yeah, of course, that's the whole thing of if one guy's doing it, how many other top players are doing it?
Right.
And how many non-live stream games are having cheaters?
Mm-hmm.
That is, and hopefully the community can knock it down.
Yeah.
And make 40K much more enjoyable. And hopefully we can see more players come in and it's like, hey, we'll make sure no one cheats.
I think that's the other part that kind of makes it even it more taints it because he's been such a high end player for so long. Well, how long else has he been cheating? And well, like a lot of people, if you do something once and you get away with it, like eating cookies up the cookie jar, you're gonna keep trying until you get caught eventually.
Yeah, it's the point. If he does it so naturally during a live stream game, like I just kind of want to think, did he do it thinking the camera was not high quality enough, or did he do it just out of pure instinct?
We really don't know. He hasn't put out a statement, but it doesn't look good. It really does not. I think the other thing that's going to happen, and I don't want it to happen, you're going to have a bunch of bandwagon jumpers saying, oh yeah, I've known he's been cheating for years. He did to me back in 2007 or some craziness.
If they do that, like, why didn't you say something?
Right. And that's the other thing, too. If you catch someone blatantly cheating in a game, call them out. You know what I mean? And if you're at an event, call a judge over. And if you're at your locals just playing games and you catch a cheater, yeah, I hate to say this, but you almost have to chastise them to the point to where they stop cheating and tell them, hey, we're not going to play with you if you continue to cheat. You know what I mean? It's it's definitely a feel badsies moment for the community.
Yeah.
That's kind of the problem.
And it's definitely that when you're playing that game, now people are gonna start looking over and like, are they cheating? But I feel like with more dice visibility, that'll help.
Right. I think that's besides like we said about models being damaged. That's really why I prefer like dice trays or like even in some cases if it's small enough game dice towers. You just throw them in there. You know, just let them do their thing.
Yeah, and it's like playing like light or like or top heavy models like wraiths or guardsmen. You throw dice and one goes straight and boom, there's five down.
I can't how many times how many large models have got knocked over because of dice.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Plus, two, like it's out in the open, everyone can seize it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's really doesn't become an issue anymore.
I definitely hope there's more again visible dice.
Uh-huh.
Like the salamander dice that GW released is not great.
Yeah, I see what you're saying too. Hey, you want to jump in on this, or Jake, or you just want to watch?
I'm good.
Okay, we have a camera guy back there now. No, you're right, and I think that's the problem with GW. A lot of their dice they throw out, for one, aren't balanced properly, and number two, really suck to look at. The Sisters of Battle dice comes to mind
Yeah.
whenever you roll it and you're trying to figure out how these little itty bitty pips. And in an event, I can see how easy it is for someone to misread their dice accidentally or on purpose.
Yeah.
I know there used to be a rule years ago, which I don't know why people. I can see why people stopped doing it. Was it's probably with the COVID and stuff.
Yeah.
You used to go to an event and they would have a brand new Chessex dice cube on the table, and both players would use that dice cube because for a minute there it was a real big thing with microwave dice, people salt watering their dice, and buying weighted dice. And for folks who don't know, is obviously weighted dice are self-explanatory, but salted dice was you buy several cubes of the same kind of dice, you mix up salt water like a brine solution, you dump the dice in there and shake it around, and the heaviest end of the dice, like an iceberg so to speak, would fall to the bottom, and whatever was on top was your dice roll. So people would obviously pull out the high dice, like fives and sixes or whatever, and play with those. And something that happened for a brief minute was microwave dice. You'd put your dice in a microwave, like obviously sixes up or whatnot, and you'd turn on your microwave for a few seconds at a time. It would actually pseudo kind of melt the dice a little bit. Now, granted, microwave dice you could really tell if like all of them were that way, but if you snuck in two or three of them, like your opponent might not notice. And like I hate to say it, this was stuff that happened, I guess, semi-frequently in certain like tournaments, high-end events. So it's just interesting seeing the evolution of what's happening right now. And there's still more sanctions coming down, I guess, from like other organizations. Someone has asked, or cause we do leagues and stuff like that, and they ask, is he's allowed here? And I'm like, he's definitely can play, but as far as leagues or like any tournaments, I'm gonna have to back the ITC and like at least for a year, we're not allow him to participate.
Yeah.
Like, granted, we don't have any really high-end ITC events here at the shop,
No.
but we still have like a tournament every so often, or try to. I mean, it seems like the fairest thing we could do for the community, and I guess just keep things like, I guess, in line with everybody else. No, it's very interesting. It's kind of all I got, unless you got anything else to add or anything, or
Not really over here.
okay. I felt like we need to get this video out. It's kind of like just talk about it, guys. If you have any comments or anything, put them below. TJ, if you end up seeing this, go ahead, reach out to me. I'll reach out to you. But until then, I guess it's the Guildmaster with Scott. We'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.